Yo, what's good people? So Howard the Cook in the big 2025, is he any good? Well, I'm going to be answering that question in this video, and this video is devoted to the old homie Ghost, who asked me personally to make this video. So here it is. I'll put up a little video of who Ghost was back when us two went to the first Battle Royale Brawl when he actually played. He was one of the best players in the entire game. Unfortunately, he's retired and he's one of the few successful people to ever retire from Mcoc. He hasn't played the game in about 2 years, but he still supports the channel. He still comments on a lot of my videos, so put Rip Ghost in the comments. But as you saw there, Howard completely nuked that Domino in 35 seconds. That is his most ideal matchup, of course, though. He has increased ability accuracy against mutant champions, so Domino can't do shit to him. But how does he handle a Jean Gray, that annoying bitch with the inverted controls? Well, he cooks her as well. He can nuke her as soon as he drops her first bubble shield, mind shield, whatever you call it. As soon as he drops that, he's able to nuke her before she even gains another one. Now, I personally have never been the biggest fan of Howard's playstyle. He's not just a parry heavy champion, but when you parry you have to like mash the screen. You don't technically have to mash the screen though, because he has a pre-fight ability, and if you use that pre-fight ability, then the game will mash the screen for you, but you will gain less furies. I alternate between fights here, whether I'm auto mashing or using the pre-fights. It is better to not use the pre-fight though. You can build up your furies faster that way, and obviously that's better for like battlegrounds. Accidentally made Thanos go unstoppable there. That was my bad. I should have just been a wee bit more patient. However, he didn't punish us, so figured I'd just carry on with the fight. Big special one crit there. Once you get Howard all built up, once you land a couple of parries and get those furies rolling, my god, his damage is pretty insane. The one downside to his damage is he doesn't really crit a lot. He does not have the best crit rating, but when you do crit, he hits hard as fuck. And even when you don't crit, you're still doing very good damage. That's a deathless Thanos in under a minute, which for a tech champion is pretty goddamn insane, bro. So low-key, I think people are sleeping on Howard. And now we have the Serpent, and yes, Howard is surprisingly good for this match. The armor ups he gains makes him pretty tanky, so you don't take that much block damage in this fight. And a really underrated piece of utility that Howard has is just the ability to ramp up your damage without actually having to hit your opponent. So by doing that, you don't have to bait out as many special attacks of Serpent as you would with other champions. As for other utility, of course he has the heal block of his special one. However, the heal block isn't really that useful in most scenarios, because obviously you're going to shut down the opponent's regeneration with all the armor breaks you get as long as you run the Despair Mastery. Of course, the armor breaks themselves are a great piece of utility as well. He's got suppressions of the special 2, which are nice. I wish they lasted a little longer. And he has increased ability accuracy against mutant champions. So would I say Howard the Duck is meta? No, not really. I definitely wouldn't say, you know, you need this guy, you have to run this guy in your Battlegrounds deck. I would say he is useful though, he is good, and if you have a smaller account, you don't have many good tech champions, he certainly can be worth ranking up. And now we have this Dust, and of course he's going to nuke this fight. You do have to be a bit careful because obviously Howard is a parry heavy champion, and what's the one thing you don't want to do against Dust? You don't want to parry her too much, otherwise she's going to go into her Sandstorm, start doing a bunch of unavoidable damage, and you're going to have a bad time. Also, Howard does have 5 hits in his heavy attack, and whenever you reach 10 hits against Dust, you're going to get another Sandstorm debuff on you. So like, don't rush this fight, don't be too aggressive, otherwise you're going to take a bunch of damage. But as long as you don't do that, as long as you keep that in mind, he absolutely destroys this fight. Oh yeah, Howard is bleed immune as well. In my opinion, he should be poison immune, but he is just bleed immune. This is a matchup a lot of people probably wouldn't think that he can take. However, he is a pretty good Photon counter. Again, the ability to just ramp up all your damage without actually having to hit the opponent is great here, because Photon's not going to gain many charges against us, and all you have to do is hit into her phase once and you can land a couple of heavy attacks. You can see she's not even at 7 charges here. I got pretty lucky, but even if she did go into pure light form, we would just wait that out and start doing insane damage afterwards. Gonna chuck my special 2 here. Unfortunately, it leaves her on 1%, but that's fine because I can just sidestep and combo. Now, of course, there's no inequity here, but even if there was Photon in Battlegrounds with inequity, that fight would be basically the exact same, because inequity only reduces your base attack rating. It doesn't reduce your actual attack rating, and Howard gains so many furies to the point where he's not really affected by inequity at all. And now we have a Spider-Woman, of course, not having to hit her too much to build up our damage. It is great here again, because you don't have to deal with her evade too much. You can time it to where you're only pushing her to a bar of power when the fumble debuff is not on you. This matchup is a bit slower because that stupid ass ensnare kept failing my parry, because haha, fuck you. 30% ability accuracy reduction is in fact 100% ability accuracy reduction. But yeah, he's a pretty good counter to Spider-Woman as well. Of course, not the safest, not the best, but he is pretty good for her. Now against Enchantress, this is interesting, because the best way to play this matchup is you actually just want to build your furies at the start of the match and don't hit Enchantress. And by doing this, you can actually wait out the phase timer, so you don't actually have to risk Enchantress missing you 5 times in a row. And you can just wait until that falls off to start hitting her. Unfortunately, I landed my heavy attack like a second too early there. I was impatient, but you get the idea. You do still have to remove the spell, but at least now she is not going to miss us. And you saw she was spamming heavy attacks in the corner there before. Now she straight up doesn't want to throw a heavy attack when I actually want to bait it. Finally throws it, and now of course we are going to be able to nuke her without her throwing a single special attack. You can play Howard in a way where you can basically just ramp up to max furies, and then you're easily able to nuke Battlegrounds fights without having to ever bait a single special attack. So yeah, that is pretty baller. Oh, I quit this fight because I actually fucking forgot to apply the Odin pre-fights and the War Machine pre-fights. So my bad on that, boys. This is a full synergy team against a 1.3 million health pool Sabertooth. You know, basic fight. Just want to see how well Howard can cook at his full potential. Full synergy team against 1.3 million health. Let's see how good his damage output is. Hopefully we get a few crits in this fight. I think I do, if I remember correctly. And I believe when Howard is at max fury with all these synergies, at least he's hitting 75k medium attacks, which is pretty insane. But as you can see here, it's a perfect example of why Howard's heal block of his special 1 really isn't that strong of a piece of utility, because the armor breaks are just going to shut down the opponent's healing. You only really want that heal block of the special 1 for champions like Weapon X, Mr. Sinister, champions regeneration that can't be affected by despair. I'm not going to throw my special 2 in this matchup, which would probably be the better play, would probably make this a bit faster, but I want to see how much damage a special 3 does at max furies. I think it's something like 200k if I remember correctly. But yeah, if you time the perfect, whatever you call it, the perfect special 3 button, you know what I mean, where you get the extra 20% damage, you get a nice passive stun on the opponent, and this lasts a while. But that's the end of the video, fellas.